Hello everyone. Let's go ahead and start our Vinyasa practice. We're going to start this practice standing. So go ahead and come to the front of your mat or the front of your space in your mountain pose, taking your feet about sitting bone distance apart, spreading the toes wide and feeling the earth underneath your feet. Take your palms to face forward in a gesture of opening up yourself to your practice, and roll the shoulder blades together and down the spine. Feel your heart open and expand as the crown of your head reaches up for the sky. And just take a moment to close your eyes and start to connect to your breath. Seal the hands together into a prayer position in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra, and set an intention for your practice. This can be, I want to feel good today, or I want to build some heat in my body, or I want to connect with my goals that I have for myself. And we'll begin with our half sun salutations. So on your next inhale, reach your arms up for the sky, big stretch up. And on the exhale, soften the knees as you fold down, bringing belly to thighs, hands towards the ground or the shins. As you inhale, lifting halfway into a flat back. And on the exhale, take a deeper fold, belly to thighs always. Inhale, reverse swan dive with the flat back as you reach all the way up for the sky. Reach up, maybe look up, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Let's try that again. Inhale, reaching up for the sky any way you choose. And exhale to fold down, belly to thighs, soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And as you exhale, a deeper fold down over your legs. Reverse swan with the soft knees. Inhale, reaching out and up for the sky. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Beginning with our sun salutation A. On your next inhale, reach the arms up for the sky. Maybe look up or take a back bend. And as you exhale, bend the knees and fold down towards the ground. Inhale to lift halfway, finding a flat back. And for this first one, exhale, step your feet back, coming into your plank pose, push-up position. Inhale, come forward on the toes. And with or without the knees on the mat, exhale, lower all the way down onto your stomach. Untuck your toes, glue the tops of your feet to the mat, and inhale, roll shoulders to ears. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and away from the ears as you start to lift the chest just a couple inches off the ground, starting to warm up the back. Take another breath in here in your baby cobra. And as you exhale, release the chest down, tuck the toes under, and push back towards a child's pose with toes tucked. So an inhale to sit hips towards heels. And then exhale, extending those legs, coming into your first downward facing dog. Perhaps pedaling out those legs a little bit, bending one knee and then bending the other knee, just taking your dog for a little walk. Breathing deeply here, starting to really dial up your Ujjayi breath for practice, that victorious breath that's audible in and out through your nose. On your next inhale, look to the space between your hands, and as you exhale, step, or lightly hop your feet forward to meet your hands. On the inhale, find a flat back, halfway lift, and then on the exhale, a deeper fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching all the way up for the sky, and exhaling, hands to heart center. For one more, sun salutation A, Surya Namaskar. Inhale to reach the arms up, maybe a little back bend, press the hips forward. Exhale to forward fold down over your legs. Inhaling to lift halfway, long neck, long spine. And as you exhale, feel free to flow through your vinyasa. Maybe it's stepping or hopping back, plank to lower push-up. Inhaling into your low cobra or your lifted cobra or even upward facing dog. And as you exhale, tuck the toes or roll over the toes, lift the hips, and press back into your downward facing dog. Steady the breath if you notice it getting a little bit choppy. Let your ears be between your biceps and your knees be a little bit soft in your downward facing dog so that you can really start to work on that straight line from your wrists to your shoulders all the way up through your hips. Taking one breath of release in through your nose, really filling up, and out through your mouth, cleansing here. On the next inhale, looking to the space between the hands, and as you exhale, step, or lightly hop, floating the feet forward to meet the hands. As you inhale, we'll lift halfway, finding a flat back, and as you exhale, taking a deeper fold down. Inhale, reverse swan, rising all the way up, reach up, maybe look up, And as you exhale, sealing hands to heart center, coming back to your intention here with your hands in Anjali Mudra. Next, we'll go ahead and bring our big toes together to touch, keeping about an inch or two between the heels. When you're ready, bend the knees, dip the fingertips low onto the earth, and then inhale, reaching up for chair pose like a lightning bolt shape. As you exhale, squeeze those thighs and try to sit a little bit lower, making a nice diagonal from your hips all the way up through your fingertips. Palms facing each other, keep the shoulders released down away from the ears. Taking a nice deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, let's take a prayer twist to the right. So we're going to hook our left elbow either on top of or outside of our right thigh, using that as a little crutch to make a little bit more space in the spine. Using your inhale to really lengthen the spine, and the exhale maybe pressing hand to hand, engaging navel to spine to help you rotate a little bit more over to the right. Feel free to stay here, or if you would like more challenge, feel free to do this pose on one foot. So the right foot stays down, but you start to bend that left knee, hovering left heel towards the butt. Knee to knee, thigh to thigh, keep squeezing everything together, whether you're on one or two legs. And when you're ready, start to float that left foot away from the ground regardless, and exhale to step the left foot all the way back. You might even have to wiggle it back there a little bit for your prayer lunge twist. You might have to readjust a little bit, finding that crutch again, pressing elbow into knee and thigh in towards the elbow. And then finding that length in the spine as you twist a little bit deeper. You can always do this pose with your back knee down if you want a different variation, a different feeling in that hip flexor. Just taking one more breath, really using your exhale to twist, wringing out the spine like a dish rag. And then on your next inhale, we'll unwind and reach the arms up, coming into high lunge. As you exhale, interlace your fingers behind your head. Let your elbows go wide. And start to draw the shoulder blades together on the back body and really start to lift the sternum up, creating a back bend here. Finding space from, the front of your left hip flexor all the way up through your navel and up through your breastbone, pressing strongly through that back big toe to keep the legs engaged. On your next inhale, we'll reach the arms up. And as you exhale, we'll eagle the left arm under the right arm. So we want to stack that right elbow on top of the left elbow, maybe wrapping the hands, or if you're tight, you can always hold hands to opposite shoulders. Inhale, just give those elbows a little lift off the chest, and as you exhale, sit a little lower into your lunge, keeping that back leg nice and engaged. Taking another breath here. And then we're going to be floating forward onto one foot. So on your inhale, start to bring that left knee forward to hover away from the ground. And then as you exhale, let's take the left thigh and cross it on top of the right thigh, coming into our full eagle pose. Your legs might be wrapped once or maybe even twice with the left toes behind the right calf. Sink the hips low, but keep the elbows the height of the shoulders for now. Taking a breath in here. And you can stay or you can add in a crunch on the exhale, drawing elbows towards belly, looking out over the fingertips. If you crunched, we'll inhale to lift the torso back up, and we'll all exhale to stay, maybe sinking a little lower here for the last breath. On the next inhale, reach your arms all the way up and kick that left leg forward. And as you exhale, let's move into our warrior three. So fly your heart forward, maybe your wings back for more balance as you kick that left foot back like you were standing on a wall behind you. Left foot flex, left toes facing the ground. Finding your balance here as you work on leveling off that left hip in line with the right. Usually it's a little bit higher and you have to kind of relax your outer glute a little bit. Finding any arm variation, you can always have hands to prayer, Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Or for most challenge, you can reach the arms forward by the ears. Wherever you are, find your breath and come back to your intention here. Why are you practicing today? What do you want to really create here with your practice? Warrior three. And from here, we're going to go ahead and bend the standing leg and step it back into high lunge. So on the inhale, you can start to sweep the arms up for the sky, making sure that your feet are far apart, your back toes are curled under, you're high on the ball of the back foot, and that front knee is bending directly over top of the front ankle. Taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, we'll take the left hand down onto the mat for our lunge twist. We'll reach the right arm up for the sky, really opening up through our wingspan here, and all the while hugging the inner thighs towards one another. You have your option of how you would like to get into side plank from here. So you can either step back on one hand or use two, or if you'd like, you can use your right peace fingers, the first two fingers, and hook them around your right big toe, carrying that right foot up and back with you into your side plank for a big toe hold. Either way, you're on your left hand or your left elbow when you get there. You can always drop the left knee for more support, but we're reaching that right arm up for the sky, really opening up through the chest and strengthening those outer left core muscles. Taking one more breath in. And as you breathe out, let's take our Vinyasa, high to lower push-up, finding that chaturanga, and then inhale to sweep your heart through into your back bend of choice. Exhale to tuck under or roll over the toes, pressing back into your downward facing dog. Try to make sure that in your downward facing dog that you're pulling those front ribs together so that you're not opening up through the core. We really want to zip it up nice and tight here so we can protect our back as we stretch. Taking one more breath in your downward facing dog. And on the next inhale, look into the space between the hands. And as you exhale, we'll step or lightly hop, floating those feet forward to meet the hands. Inhaling to lift halfway, finding a flat back. And as you exhale, taking a deeper fold down. On the inhale, root to rise, come all the way up to stand, reach the arms up, maybe look up. And as you exhale, sealing hands to heart center. Really pulling those shoulder blades together on the back so that the heart is pressing more towards the thumbs rather than the thumbs pressing towards the heart. This is a great time to focus back in on your intention as we take a pause between sides. Notice how you feel and what the practice has created for you. And when you're ready, we'll check in with the other side by wiggling our big toes together to touch, keeping those heels an inch or two apart, bending the knees and inhale to sweep the fingertips down onto the earth and then rising all the way up into your chair, sinking those hips low. Trying to keep the weight back through your hips instead of bringing the weight forward through your knees. So a good test here is just to make sure that you're able to lift your toes off the mat at any time. Taking another breath in. And as you breathe out, let's take our prayer twist to the left side. So we're going to take that right elbow either on top of or outside of the left thigh. And then using that to inhale, find a little bit more length to the spine. As you exhale, maybe pressing hand to hand, sending navel towards spine to just wrap yourself into that twist just a little bit more. This is really good for the lower abdominals and for the legs and just for detoxing the body. You can stay like this, or if you want that added balance challenge, feel free to do this on just your left foot. So that means that you would bend that right knee, floating the right foot away from the ground, right heel towards your butt. Squeezing those thighs, knees together, maybe looking to the left elbow for a little bit more challenge. We'll all take a breath in. And wherever you are on the exhale, start to float that right foot all the way back, coming into your prayer lunge twist. We want to make sure that the feet are far apart here so that back leg is nice and straight. You're pressing through the big toe mound of that back foot, and that front knee is still directly on top of the ankle. We want to make sure that we have a lot of space so we protect our joints. Taking an inhale, maybe finding a little bit more length. Back knee can be up or down. Exhaling to twist just a little bit more. Remember that picture of kind of wringing out a dish rag here. Really let that twist come from the navel and kind of spiral up your spine, releasing through the crown of your head. And on your next inhale, we'll unwind and reach up for the sky, coming into our high lunge. Exhaling to interlace the fingers behind your head, let your elbows go wide. We want to really shine our heart up and open here. But instead of thinking about going back, think about really rising up through the chest. So press through that back big toe, keep the back leg nice and straight. Let the hips be heavy, but the heart be light and lifted. Maybe you look up for an added challenge. On your next inhale, we'll reach the arms up, high lunge, and as you exhale, just take the right elbow under the left elbow for your eagle arms. You can wrap the arms once or twice. You might even take hands to opposite shoulders if that feels a little bit better for you. As you inhale, work on lifting the elbows a little bit off of the chest, and as you exhale, try to sit a little bit lower into your lunge stance. Preparing to stand on one foot. On the inhale, we'll bring the weight forward, bringing that right knee forward to a hover. And as you exhale, crossing that right thigh on top of the left thigh, wrapping the legs once or twice. Or you can always make a little kickstand with your right toes on the ground beside your left foot. Wherever you are, inhaling to give those elbows just a little lift off the chest. And exhaling to try to sit those hips back and down. Think chair pose in this eagle pose. Really bring the hips back and down heavy, like you're going to sit towards the back of your mat. Really squeeze the limbs together, feeling a little bit of restriction in the limbs so that when we open up here in a moment, you can really feel that fresh oxygenated blood flowing back through those limbs, feeling that release. So I know hard pose here. You can inhale. If you would like to take that crunch, you can exhale, start to bring elbows towards belly, looking over those fingertips. And then on the inhale, slowly rising up. We'll all stay for one more exhale. You can do it. On the next inhale, reach the arms up, extend the standing leg, and reach that right leg all the way forward. Kick it out. And on the exhale, flying open into your warrior three. So maybe the wings go back as you kick that right leg back. Maybe hands to heart center or arms by the ears is your choice. It's okay if that left leg doesn't want to be perfectly straight here. Just work on really pressing the right heel towards that back wall or an imaginary wall behind you. Leveling off your hips as you just work on that strength, flexibility, and balance here. Deep breath. And for your high lunge again, bending that standing leg, step it all the way far back and inhale, reaching the arms up. As you exhale, we'll take the right hand down to the mat underneath the shoulder and inhale, peeling the left arm up for the sky, coming into your lunge twist here. Try to keep those hips hugging the midline of your mat. Notice if they're swaying out by the side, try to hug those inner thighs towards one another. Inhaling here. And any way you'd like to get to side plank on your exhale, you can step back, you can take a big toe hold, you can use one or two hands, and ultimately, you're on that right hand or that right elbow if you want some wrist support. You can always drop the right knee for more support too. As you reach the left arm straight up for the sky, really opening up through the chest, lifting that right hip a little higher, deep breath in. And as you breathe out, going through your vinyasa, lower push-up. Inhaling into the back bend of a degree of your choice. And then exhale, one step or a few takes you back into your downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here, feeling good. And you're doing great. On your next inhale, looking towards the space between the hands, and then exhale to step, or hop those feet forward to meet the hands. We'll inhale to lift halfway, and exhale for a deeper fold. Root to rise, inhale coming all the way up to stand, reaching up, maybe looking up. And as you exhale, sealing hands to heart center. Coming back to that intention, back to your reason for being present on your mat today. Being present in your body and finding that vinyasa or that connection of your movement to your breath. For your next chair pose, you can decide if you want your feet together or slightly apart for more balance, as we will be coming all the way down to a sitting position in just a few breaths. So when you're ready and you have your stance, bend those knees, dip the fingertips onto the earth, inhale, reaching the arms up for your chair. And exhaling to sit just a little bit lower, really finding that diagonal from the hands all the way down through the hips. Pull the lower belly in and up. Inhaling here. And using your exhale to sit a little bit lower. Finding another inhale, you can do it. Exhale, maybe sitting just a little bit lower. Pausing there, big breath in. And finding your deepest chair pose here, you can do it. Last breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to sit all the way back. Feel free to use your hands if you need to, coming into your boat pose. So we're sitting towards the center of our mat or our space, and you can reach the arms forward for more challenge. If you would like a little bit more support, feel free to keep those hands right beside you or a little bit behind you, bending the elbows back, but making sure that the fingers are facing forward. So just holding strong here. We've got just about 10 seconds to hold our boat pose, starting to get a little bit into our core. Keep breathing, keep smiling, really lifting your heart up for the sky, trying not to have any rounding in your back. Taking one more breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to come into our hollow body. So extend those legs forward at any angle. The higher your feet, a little bit less intense. The lower, a little bit more intense. But make sure you're not arching your lower back off the mat. It's pressing down. You can reach your hands forwards for intermediate, I suppose. If you'd like more support, come onto your elbows. Or if you want the most challenge, reach your arms by your ears or hands behind your head, whatever feels right for you. We're going to cross ankle over ankle and breathe at your own pace for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your hands behind your head, elbows wide, and we're going to bicycle crunch elbow to knee for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more set for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Lay down on your back. Nice work, you guys. We'll go ahead and reach our arms straight up for the sky and also kick the legs straight up for the sky too. We're going to bend those knees and we're going to work on just real low core work for our crow pose. So as you inhale, just pause here. Hands are directly over the shoulders. And as you exhale, start to curl the lower back up off the mat, working on taking your knees as close towards your triceps or even your armpits as possible. So as you inhale, slowly lower the hips onto the mat. It's a very small movement, but a big sensation. Exhale to curl the lower back off the mat, knees towards the triceps. 3 more. We'll inhale to lower the hips down. And exhale to peel them up. That's your crow pose. 2 more. Inhale slowly with control. We lower. And exhale, we lift up. Last one. Inhaling to lower those hips. And exhaling to curl it in and up. Good job. Releasing those hips down. And bringing the knees to the chest. We're going to start to rock back and forward on our spine, inhaling back and exhaling forward a few times. And if you'd like, you can rock and roll up into your crow pose. You can rock and roll up into a squat. You can do 1, 2, 3 poses, however many you'd like, just taking this time to practice what you need. If you're working on your crow pose, working on shifting your weight forward so your elbows are stacked directly over your wrists. That's what's going to help you to get your weight forward enough to be able to lift off 1 or 2 feet, really hugging into the core. And if you're strong in your crow pose, work on straightening your arms any amount so that you can grow your crow. Big breath in. And wherever you are, stepper, hop back on the exhale and move through your vinyasa, finding balance, finding that connection to your breath. Meeting in your downward facing dog. Great work, everybody. Let's stretch it out a little bit. We'll inhale to lift that right leg high for the sky. And as you exhale, let's take it through into our pigeon pose. So the right knee lands behind the right wrist. The right foot lands somewhere behind the left wrist. It doesn't have to be perfect. Inhale, flexing that right foot a little bit. Exhale, if you want a deeper stretch, you can fold it down over your right leg. Totally optional. You can stay lifted or lower. You can always take this time to practice any variations off of pigeon that you like to work in your practice. But just feeling a nice stretch for the outer right hip is really what we're looking for here. So taking a couple more breaths into the stretch, try to relax the muscle away from the bone. And when you are ready, just going ahead and pressing up into those hands and sending that right foot back to meet the left, coming into your downward facing dog. You can pedal out the legs a little bit, or maybe wag your tail in your downward facing dog. Just keep it playful and fun. And when you're ready for the other side, we'll inhale to lift that left leg high for the sky. And as you exhale, taking it into your pigeon pose, left knee behind left wrist, left foot anywhere kind of behind that right wrist, wherever it falls. Flexing that left foot, inhale, maybe sitting up a little taller. And you can stay here or exhale, folding it down on your elbows or on your forehead and just kind of starting to dissolve into that outer left hip stretch, really breathing deep and letting go of any tension. Just taking this time to practice your pigeon pose, Kapotasana, for a couple more deep breaths here, really turning inward. Good job. When you are ready, you can go ahead and press back up into one final downward facing dog. And just pedaling out those legs, or maybe taking a vinyasa if you'd like one more today, or maybe you'd just like to take that nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, letting it all go. We'll go ahead and lower our knees. And you can take the inversion of your choice here as we finish up our practice. If you can safely practice headstand or have a wall to practice on, feel free to go into a headstand. When you come out of headstand, make sure that you counter that with a child's pose so you don't get lightheaded. Or if you'd like, you can come into a shoulder stand. So feel free to follow me. If you would like, you can come into shoulder stand by sitting on the mat with your legs in front of you, and then using some momentum to kind of jackknife your feet back and straight up for the sky, catching the hips with the hands, and making sure that when you get into your shoulder stand, you don't look from side to side. You want to keep your head centered so that you make sure that your neck stays nice and protected. And just making sure that the elbows and the shoulders are about shoulder width distance apart. Even tucking those shoulder blades under you a little bit will help you to keep your pose nice and supported and not too heavy through the hips. So you want to find that nice strong foundation so we can kind of lift up from there. So wherever you are, if you're in your headstand, try to make sure that you're kind of sending the tailbone up towards the sky and drawing in through the core. And if you're in your shoulder stand, just thinking about pressing your hips a little bit forward pressing your feet a little bit forward and taking your hips a little bit higher, almost like they were going towards the wall that's behind your head, so you can truly get that perfect shoulder stand stack. If you're in headstand and you're ready to come out, just maybe taking a few breaths in your child's pose before meeting on your back. And if you're in your shoulder stand, just bending those knees, taking your time, whatever you need, however you'd like to get down onto your back to complete our final pose for today, which is going to be our happy baby. So when you're ready, you can take those feet, the bottoms of the feet, and shine them up for the sky, hooking the hands to the outer feet and pressing the feet into the hands to start so you can really draw your lower back down onto the mat. You want to try not to curl the lower back up off the ground. And then press the hands back down in towards the feet so you can get into your hips a little bit. Chin is a little bit tucked towards the chest so the back of the neck stays long. And we take another breath or two, maybe even a little rock from side to side if that feels nice. When you're ready, releasing from your pose and feeling free to take any final pose along your way to a short relaxation. So if you'd like, you can take a back bend or a twist or anything that maybe we didn't get to here in this 30 minutes of work. We literally just hit our 30-minute marker, so good job. When you are ready for your relaxation, well deserved. So just take your time to find a comfortable pose, whether that's corpse pose, laying on your back, or any pose that's really comfortable for you. Even if you like to sit in a meditation or take child's pose, is totally acceptable. Something where you feel really a nice release in the space that you've carved out for yourself today. So I'll let you kind of dissolve here into this space for a couple minutes, and I'll let you know when the practice is over so you can really just totally let go and feel that surrender and let the practice soak in and just enjoy. You can slowly begin to deepen your breath, starting to roll out your wrists and your ankles as you start to reawaken the body. Maybe taking a nice full body stretch, reaching the arms overhead. Just gathering the knees in. You can roll to one side, the right side being a little bit more calming, the left side being a little bit more active if you want to get ready for your day. Just pausing in a fetal pose and reconnecting to your intention. If the intention was maybe a little unclear, maybe taking this time to set an intention for your day, your evening, the rest of your week or month. And slowly pressing up into a comfortable sitting position, sitting up nice and tall through the spine. As you've made it, we'll inhale and sweep our arms out and all the way up for the sky. And then exhale, taking palms together and those prayer hands, Anjali Mudra, down in front of the heart. Thanks for taking this time to practice with me today. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.